And good morning. Welcome back to another Her Bold Voice LinkedIn Live show. Second to the last one. Next week is the last show, but welcome back. Same place, same time. Here we are with another new guest. First of all, for those of you who are coming on live and you are putting comments and posts in, if we don't address it, please, we're not ignoring you. We're really focusing on task at hand here and delivering the content that you all deserve. Number two, yes, it's Her Bold Voice, but I always say there's an amazing place for men as well in this environment. And like, I think it was just last week, I'm losing track of time. I had a man on the show. There is a good place for that. So I showcase amazing, fascinating, high achieving women that are taking bold steps on their terms to get to where they are at in this moment and where they are going. And Kanitha is my newfound friend. I think I shared with her a little bit when we met back in October, all the things that was going on personally. And she just came up and I just was in a bad headspace. And I literally walked out of the event. I left a little early. I had had enough. And I was walking back to my car and all I could think of was you, Kanitha. I don't think I ever shared that with you. I'm like, there's something there. There's something there. There's something there. And I know that there's something there. But before I go any further, I want to do due diligence here and so and serving Kanitha and introduce Kanitha to everybody. So Kanitha's mission is to empower women by teaching them the secrets to true wealth, encompassing mental, relational, financial, physical, and spiritual well-being. She is committed to being the catalyst for women's self-discovery and empowerment, believing in their remarkable abilities. Kanitha's life's purpose is to guide them in recognizing their worth and living authentically, unlocking their inner superpowers to realize their dreams and discover their true wealth. And I don't know about anybody listening, post listening, whether you're live, I don't know about all of you, but I can always use some leveling up, some tweaks, personal development as we are evolving and growing for what you said. So Kanitha, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, Kim. I'm super excited to be here today.
And I'll say this to everybody now that we're live. Right before we came on, I said to Kanitha, yes, the spring landscaper cleanup just showed up outside my house. Thank goodness they're away from my window, but and it's not as noisy as my palms were starting to perspire with all that noise. But there's always ways around it. Anyways, let's jump in. I want to talk about before you launched and created and dreamt awake a More Women, and we'll get a little bit more in detail what a More Women is, in which I'm a member of a More Women. Then that was a no-brainer to come on board with that. But what were you doing prior to really waking up and taking the next bold steps to really empower women by teaching them their secrets to true wealth?
So first I had to learn them. I like to say I've always been an advocate for community and uplifting women. And I was talking because I just released a book soon and I had my parents talk about me networking because that's what it's about. And they were like, you were taking care of others when you were little. You were like, come on, don't be alone. Come and play. And you're grabbing them by the hand as a little girl. So that was just like who you were. And during my journey, it wasn't a straight line. It was very zigzag. But I always knew that there was something different about me and something special, and that I was going to make a mark on the world and live this legacy, but I had no clue of how I was going to do it. And so, I tell you, it took a lot. And I think, well, I already know the pivotal moment. And I always believed in self-development and things of that nature. But the pivotal moment when I was having my second divorce, and even though I may not have been the cause, I participated, right? You participate in some type of way or fashion. And I said to myself, I'm the common denominator. So I need to work better on me so I can attract, be who I want to, who I need to be for my kids first, but then be who I want to attract, right? Because we sometimes go through that. We're like, oh, that wasn't my fault because we didn't take on the biggest portion of it. And then we go looking for what we want. But people don't understand is that you play a part in that. And I wanted to heal that. I wanted to level up. And so that's when this journey began of me being healthy in all these different areas.
Yeah, gosh, so much that you said there, so priceless, is it's not always the matter that it's we're wrong or we need fixing or this is all my fault. It's looking at when you're having multiple things happen, there's a common denominator there. And what are we doing to turn in to change that so we can be that better human being and attract the other human beings, around us that we want to attract, especially after, like a second divorce or maybe a job situation, or just especially in relationships. There's a gentleman in my life and I adore him. Excellent therapist. His name is Kevin. And he said to a group of us women at one point, until we step away and heal what we're dealing with, whether you stay in a relationship or whether you leave a relationship and enter the next relationship, unless you've healed, you're going to keep doing the repetitive, re-attracting the same type of person. It's just in a different form, a same kind of person, the same kind of issues.
Just different circumstances or different look or different, but he's absolutely right. Absolutely. Yes. It's so funny. I'm talking at a conference, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And one of my key points that I'm going to be talking about is, are we still watering dead plants? Oh. And that is, and I've caught myself doing it. And, you're like, wait a second, I can't revive this. There's no nutrition. There's no life in this. Right. And so, but I'm still there with my little spritzer and then, and I'm still watering it. And it's the same thing. It's us doing these habits over and over again, thinking it's going to change. And it's not, unless we change.
Yes, exactly. I love that. It's like the serenity prayer.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
Yes. And by the way, anybody get out there, Google the serenity prayer, or you can always get yourself a card or print that off and keep it close by. I have it right next to my bed. It's a great thing a little tool to reflect and go back to periodically. And the other thing, I'm on this kick again, is the 4 Agreements, having that book nearby. And it's such a little teeny tiny book. It
is. I actually have it on my shelf over here, but that's a really good book too.
Yeah, I've got mine right back here. Yeah, absolutely, to reach out to and to help yourself as you're maneuvering through some things. All right, so you've gone through that. Mm-hmm. How did Amore Women evolve? How did this all evolve?
Well, okay. So in 2020, I had a skincare company, Amore Your Body, right? And so I had a retail space. It was on Mountain Hall, and everything was great until, COVID happened. That happened to all of us. And so I'm a person that I sit back and I watch, right? So I'm seeing, and I'm helping my husband, he's trying to figure out what's going on with his job. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my kids in my school. I'm trying to make sure my parents are all set and his parents are set, and then I'm trying to figure out how to put my business solely online, all of these different things. But we didn't have a space to be afraid to talk about what our concerns are. And so I, at the time, had this amazing group of women who were friends, and we did that for each other. And I remember for my birthday on 2020, this is back when we still couldn't we weren't able to conjugate with other people. And so for my birthday, we all drove to Lakeside Mall and we backed our cars up and we bought snacks and we put them in sandwich bags. And so you just passed around whatever you bought, and we sat in our trunks with a blanket and we just talked. And I said, oh my goodness, it was so therapeutic that when I got that I was like, more women need this, right? More women need to be able to have this. And that's where I saw that was lacking. They didn't have that space where they felt open. And that's how More Women started. How many people like are already trying to figure things out with their own business and say, oh, I should start another one? But that's what I did. And it's been evolving ever since. And I just absolutely love who we've become as a group, as the organization.
Yeah, that's nice. And I'm new. I'm new to the organization. So I've really, my feet aren't completely wet yet. I think it's about a couple toes. I can't wait to become more
Yeah.
involved and looking forward to it. But I agree with you. All women need a place to let their hair down. And I always say let hair down and unbutton that top button without, without the judgment, without having to be in performance mode, because we're such performance mode driven of a society,
Mhm.
to go and be with like-minded, to laugh and just talk. In our case, a week from Friday, we'll be eating, which makes it even more fun. But
Right.
yeah, we all need that girlfriend time and whatever that looks like. So I'm so, first of all, I'm so happy you and I got introduced
Yes. Thank
by
you, Erin.
our wonderful Pat Walker and Sitter.
Exactly. I just seen her this morning. She's on our board for our foundation, and we had a meeting, but she's simply amazing. And that's what happens is amazing people connect you with more amazing people. And so I definitely am thankful. So thanks, Erin. Mwah.
Yeah, we love Erin. We love Erin. What Erin birthed. Woo wee! Thank goodness she's a lifesaver sometimes.
Oh,
A
yes,
lot
she
of times,
is.
with the dogs, with our fur babies, our fur babies.
Yes, because we are dog moms.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So let's talk about one of my favorite words, networking.
Mhm.
And you've written a book, and we had today's what, Tuesday? Yesterday was the pre-launch, pre-sales, the pre-sale, pre-launch of the book. I
Yes.
cannot wait to get my hands on it because, again, I love networking. It feeds my soul, but I'm always looking to, little tiny tips to improve, to make the investment of my time even more, a better ROI on my return of investment. So,
Exactly.
what's bringing you to this networking? What's bringing you to writing this book? And what do we need to learn from all of this?
It's so much, right? They tell us that they want us to be successful, but most of us haven't been in an environment where we had to officially or formally network, right? And so I get people ask me all the time, how do you do what you do? And I remember in the car, my sister was going somewhere, and we were both in the car driving different places. And she's going somewhere, and she's like a little nervous. And she says, and I'm like, oh, and I'm giving her my tips. And she said, it doesn't matter because networking is easy for you. And I was like, but it's not. Even though I'm a people person, I'm extroverted, I get scared, I get nervous, I have all of these things. And so I really started to, as people start asking me, I also believe in understanding your personality type as well. And that plays a big part in it. And so it's not that only one personality type networks the best. It is that you have to network for your personality type. And so I said, you know what? I'm constantly getting asked for tips and things of that nature. And then also, how do I help the next generation? I'm always thinking about legacy, right? How do I help the next generation, or people who are just starting in, or people who've been doing it for years, but they've been doing it badly? How do I help them get over this hump? And that's why I decided to write the Ultimate Woman's Networking Guide, right? How to network for your personality type, how to thrive and connect with their personality type. And I'm telling you, people would think because I'm extroverted and I'm a people lover that I am the best type, and I'm not. I have a great time, I connect with people, I fall in love with them, they fall in love with me, and I leave. And my struggle is, before I go to the next thing, to stop, to do the due diligence of connecting, of making sure that I reach out, right? And so that's the downfall for people lovers. We don't do that. And so I talk about that. I also talk about have a plan. You see people out here going to everything. You don't want to go to everything. You want to go where your customer base will be. And it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So start vetting places. Just because people ask you to come doesn't mean that you should go. Your time is the most valuable thing you have. So you want to make sure that you properly do that. So I teach you how to vet locations, make sure it's for you. I also teach you boundaries, because um, there are some times where you need to set boundaries before you go, especially if you're a giver, because you don't want to just constantly give out and then people take and you're not getting anything in return. And so we talk about setting boundaries. We talk about having a good game plan for who you are and what your business is. And then we talk about affirmations, because sometimes when I'm going places, I can have had a bad day, or I could be scared. This is my first time coming to this event. I don't know anyone. And so I make sure that I get my energy right, because energy is so important.
It is.
I want to attract what I want. So I can't go in there feeling defeated. I have to go in there with very high energy. And so I teach you how to do that. So it's a little black book, the only little black book that you'll ever need.
I like that. The little black book that you'll ever need. Yeah, there's so many tips, and the other thing is too is you really touch space on, because you're a people person. You walk out of networking, it's like, okay, I need my next fix. My words, I'm paraphrasing. I need my next. I'm a people person. I need more, and I ebb and flow, introvert, extrovert, extrovert. I thrive around. I love people, but
Mhm.
here's one of the things, Kanitha, I see with. And this is majority rule. There's no follow-up afterwards. So all I can say to especially women, how do you expect to build a relationship? And just because in that given moment, I may not be a direct client, but I could be a strategic referral partner. You
Yes.
never know who knows who. But I mean, and I have a whole system set up in place where I within 72 hours, my
Yeah.
rule of thumb, I reach out. Just, hey, it was nice meeting you at this event. Looking forward to seeing you around some more. Something maybe that we talked about, and see you out there. Peace out and rock on, and let me know how I can be a support, and call it a day. And then I'll reach back out again in a few more weeks, because I'm building that relationship. I'm not trying to get business. I'm building the relationship. And so, first of all, number one, so many women don't do it. And number
Yeah.
two, so many women don't respond.
And let me tell you this. That was the thing that I was missing in networking, right? Until I had to understand how to truly network. And so you're right. The follow-up is key. And not discarding people. I see that a lot, right? Because I feel like women don't respond because they feel like it's not a direct sale. And I talk about that in my book. It's not about going there getting a sale. It's going there building relationships.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen in a moment. So you have to treat it like dating. And I also talk about it's four types of individuals. And so one of them is a value seeker. And I don't want to give too much away. I want you to go grab the book. But you have to make sure that you're not just looking at title and people's professional title, and disqualifying people if they don't have a specific title. Because let me tell you, if somebody is totally out of my field and there's no way, I still treat them with the utmost respect. I still respond. I'm like, hey, how can I help you in your business? But the amount of time that I spend with that person is going to be more limited. But I still respond. I still try to give them a lead or something. And let me tell you, it was a gentleman, and he had, what type of business did he have? I can't think of right now, but it was a gentleman. His business was totally something that I wasn't going to use. But because I respected the relationship, respected the person, I said, oh, you know what? I won't use you, but I know somebody who might, right? He sent me so many amazing referrals because he had an amazing wife, amazing sister. So, sister, like, you never know who knows who. And in that time where he referred these ladies, they were very integral in the things that I was trying to get done at the time. And so if I would have just discarded him, like, oh, he's not doing what I'm doing, he's not doing this, I could have missed out on a big opportunity at that moment.
Yes, there's a lot of that prejudgment I've been guilty of that in the past. It's that judgment, it's just you never ever know. If somebody's interested, I always give 30 to 45-minute coffee chat calls afterwards. This way, and especially if I know and have a slight knowing, just from what people say, because I really listen in, that I'm not going to give them, like you said, a lot of time. But 30 to 40 minutes here where I don't have to drive anywhere of a quick phone call, you just never know. In fact, that just happened yesterday. Someone from an event you and I were at, someone reached out, and right out the door, she knew she could not afford a level of coaching. And quite frankly, she's not ready for it. But
Mhm.
for me to have that dialogue with her, one, I'm building a relationship for something that I could maybe serve her and support her, not just now in this moment, but also down the road. And two, to be able to just give her that takeaway, just that one takeaway to, this is what you can be doing now. It's just when you're in that lack of clarity, you're trying to discover who your ideal client is, the target audience. I don't work with people like that at that point. You've got to be a couple years in. So, but that doesn't mean I'm going to turn my back and go, another one bites the dust, because another one does not bite the dust. It does not.
That's true. So that's one of the things with More Women. When I first started, it was for every woman, right? But you can't service everyone. You can't service them well. How about that? And so I said, okay, then I start moving so then I'm like, okay, it's really for entrepreneurs, right? Because that's my field. That's what I'm into. And then they have a lot of like mom groups and other things. But then I even had to kind of level that up too, where I was like, okay, well, we're not talking about how to use Canva and business plans. And so I had to kind of niche it down to we are women. So, and More Women, we're women who are further along. We're higher earners, right? Or executives, C-suite executives. And we're talking about different kind of issues and problems than someone who's just now starting. And it's okay. It's okay to be exclusive for the right reason. But I have one of my best, dearest friends, she has a women's group. And so I will refer her women's group if I know that's a fit, or I know of actually a couple of other women who have groups, and I'm like, hey, we may not be a fit for this person is and this person is. And so when you have that community where you can actually say, I may not be able to help you in this moment, but I have other things or other people who can. Oh my goodness, they're like so ecstatic that you're still trying to help them even though they can't do business with you. And I've gotten so many referrals that way as well.
And I'm a believer of that's what the human being and the humanness is all about, to serve, pay it forward. After we've filled our cup, it's like put on that oxygen mask, but we are here to serve and pay it forward. And when we are serving and paying it forward, it's amazing the doors of opportunities that do open up when you never
Yeah.
would have expected. I love those unexpected doors of opportunities, because that means we're
They're
not
amazing.
controlling it. Coming from a recovering control freak here, that means we're not controlling this stuff. We're allowing the alignment and things to happen, not to us, but for us.
I agree. I look at it as, God is in control. Like what God has for me to do, no one can stop that but me, by me not doing the action, taking the action I need to take. So that's why I never think like it's not plentiful enough. It is so plentiful out here for everyone to be successful, for everyone to thrive. It is, right? And so I never worry about opportunity. Well, look, I say that because I don't like to say always and never, because that doesn't work. And I don't know if you ever heard of step study, but I have a chip here for um worry, because I used to worry and I used to be a control freak, but I don't have control over anything. Only God does. And so when I get to that space where I'm like trying to be like controlling, I'm like, oh, stop, Kanitha. And then I have to refocus, because that's a constant struggle with me of trying to take things back that I put in God's hands.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I love it. So, how does having a more women and writing this networking book, pull all together, helping us women really discover the secrets of true wealth. How's that all connected?
So my mission in life, more people need to create not a business mission, not a company mission, but a personal mission. My personal mission that God has created me for is to teach true wealth, is to teach that true wealth is being healthy. I mean, being healthy in all these areas. So it's being healthy mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, relationally. Um, because it doesn't matter if you're making a ton of money killing it, if your home life sucks. It doesn't matter if you're making a ton of money if your health is failing, you know. And to get through that time or all the difficult times that life throws at us, we have to be grounded and we have to be rooted in faith. Now, whatever that faith is, I'm a Christian. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ, but that's for me. But you have to have that faith, right? And so, of something that's higher than you, something that's bigger than you. And so that's my mission, to do that and to show God's love. And so while doing this in my journey, I have learned that it takes all of these different things to come together. It takes community where you can be vulnerable and be yourself. It takes a group of women who can cheerlead for you, right? It takes connections. How do you get connections? It takes networking. So they all come together. And that's not just, so that's one of the first books well, this is my second book, but in this realm, this is one of the first books I decided to start or to lead with. But I've also I have workbooks on boundaries. That was huge. I did not know what boundaries were. I didn't have any, and that was a hot mess. So I've learned boundaries. I've been practicing boundaries for years now, and my life has totally changed. And you need boundaries in every aspect of your life, even in your business, even in networking. I have a whole chapter about having like boundaries and what you can or should give and what you shouldn't. That's a part of creating your networking plan because that looks different for everyone. So anything that helps a woman to be healthy in these areas, you're going to see me do a podcast on, you're going to see me write books on, you're going to see me talking about it with more women. Anything that you hear from me is going to be on creating true wealth for women.
Yeah, I love it. And we all need that help and guidance and insights and supports. And, and it's like you said, it doesn't matter what level we are at, especially making a certain amount of money. So if our health is being challenged or home life is, or a flip, it could be home life is great, but what's going on in the business? And, it's when we're misfiring, as I like to call it, when we're unaligned.
Yes.
And in my world, in my brain, when I say things like that, is that controlling piece and not letting go. That's when we really need to step back and take a look at things. I'm so blessed and honored with the type of women that I'm surrounded by. I mean, I ask and they show up.
Yeah.
I ask and boy, they show up. And and it's even not just even here in Southeastern Michigan. Kenetha and I are in the suburb of Detroit area. It's even outside of Michigan. I mean, women show up, especially if I'm feeling confident and strong enough to ask. And I love to ask. I just love to ask. I love to ask.
I wish more women love to ask. I'll tell you, that was hard for me for so many years, and I still struggle with it sometimes because I'll feel like, oh, I have it. But that's one of our superpowers when we have the ability to ask for the things that we need. And so I love that when you said that, I was just like, yes, more women need to do that.
Well, more women also too. And I hear it. I mean, I really listen in and lean in and hear it when women say, oh, I can figure it out or I got it. Well, okay, if you can figure it out and if you have it, first of all, Toys R Us, pom poms here. I'm cheerleading you, number one and number two. But if you haven't and you can figure it out, then why haven't you done it yet. What is that? It piece. And that's a lot of that mindset. I have to show up like I've got it all together, because if I don't, I'm going to look weak. I have to I have to be upbeat and smiling and positive all the time, which by the way is all BS, because what happens is we're diminishing the other stuff. I want to be around women that celebrate me when I've got successes, but I also want to be around women that also when I am low. I'm human. We
Yeah.
have our ups and downs. And any woman that says, I got it, yet that inner critic, the Haganatic does got you. It's got you. It's got you.
That's so true. It's, but maybe they haven't found a safe space. And so I, and it's not something wrong with everyone, right? I know I have friends who'll be like, oh, I don't get along with women, da 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 da, blah 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 blah. And sometimes we just need to look at ourselves in the mirror, right? I try not to gossip. I try not to talk behind. If I have something to say, I say it to that person. But some of the people who are like, oh, I can't get along with women, they're the ones who was like, did you hear? So it's like you can't be a part of it and say you don't like it when it happens back to you. But if you may be in a space where you're not in the right group. Every group is not for you. You have to find a group where you can be your authentic self, and you feel comfortable being your authentic self. And so look for those groups. We do research and stuff on everything else, but things like dating, women's groups or girlfriend groups, and other things, we don't do or networking. We don't do our due diligence to make sure that we're doing the things that we're supposed to be doing.
Yes. We're about almost 32 minutes into the show, and I want to pause here for a moment and Kaneetha, let everyone know where they can get in touch with you, and most importantly, and just as importantly, and not most importantly, but where they can get the pre-order to this little black book. Yeah. I know I'm waiting for mine. No pressure. No pressure.
Right.
No pressure.
I love that. So the easiest place to go is my website. It's Kaneetha.com. So that's CANETHA.com. You'll be able to see all the things that I'm into, find out how you can be a part. You can pre-order your little black book. And then if you want to chat with me, you can schedule a 30-minute session. And More Women is on there. If you're about foundations and helping teen girls, our foundation is on there as well. So anything you need from me, even to speaking events, if you have something that's coming up soon, or even later in the year, next year, I would love to be a speaker to teach some of the knowledge that I have to other women. So that's where you can find me.
Yeah. So, and also over here on LinkedIn as well. Yes, we're doing a LinkedIn Live. Definitely, if you're not connected with Kaneetha, she is also on LinkedIn.
Yes,
and she's also over on Instagram. I know a lot of people don't like to cross-pollinate with platforms. Just in case, I do have some folks, I have some friends and colleagues that will cross-pollinate those two platforms. Yes. And we won't talk about the F platform. We'll just talk about LinkedIn and Instagram.
Okay. But I'm on that one as well too. So.
I am too. Absolutely. But yes, reach out, go on over to her website and stuff. Okay. So the last time you made a bold move, Kaneetha, whether it was 5 minutes ago, 5 days ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 months ago, whatever, talk to me. Did your inner critic, that critical dialogue, pop up?
Yes, it always does. I think people see the end results, or they see you doing it. I'm constantly talking myself off the ledge. I'm constantly like, nope, Kaneetha, you're just going to do it. And I will start doing it. And I shouldn't have done it, blah, 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 blah. And I have to constantly. So that's another thing too. And that's why I talk about this whole system of self-care, because I find that inner critic is louder when I'm tired, when I'm not doing self-care. And for me, that is working out, that's hiking, that's having time to just laugh with my girlfriends or my family. When I don't have weeks that have that in there, oh my goodness, everything is just coming down around me in my head. So if someone says that they don't have that inner critic, I'm always doing bold things. I'm always doing something new. I started a magazine, an online magazine, and or actually before it wasn't online. So I started a magazine, knew nothing about it. I researched and did it. When I wrote my first book, I knew nothing about it. I just researched and did it. When I started my skincare line, I just researched and did it. I that's just how I roll. So I'm doing my first book tour, and this is the first one, I've been doing research and I'm doing it. So that's just who I am as a person. But for so many years, I will let the inner critic stop me from being who I am. And now I know when I hear the inner critic, I need to run towards it, because that inner critic never comes up when I'm overeating, when I'm sitting on my butt not exercising. When I'm doing the things I shouldn't be doing, the inner critic doesn't show up at all. It just says, "Oh yeah, we're having a good time. We're having a good time." But when I'm doing the things that I know that's going to make a difference, is going to add to the legacy that I want to leave, that inner critic always comes up. So anytime I hear it, I run towards it faster. Um, and that's just how I roll.
Yes. We all, that's the point is here. Every time we are, taking steps out of our comfort zone, bold moves, risk taking, and so on, that inner critic is going to chime.
Yeah.
And it's not the critical dialogue that really is going on there. It's how long we stay in that critical dialogue is the damaging piece. I mean, I like how you say you're always, I don't like this, but what you say, talking yourself off the ledge. My ledge is a deep, dark rabbit hole. It's that hole. It's dirty. It's damp. It's lonely. I'm always talking myself back from that ledge because I don't want to slip. And it's nothing, wonderful like Alice in Wonderland or anything like that. It's a deep, dark hole. So I don't want to get down there. I know when I'm getting into the realm of getting close to that hole, and the tools that I have. The other thing I've learned very much about myself is I'm a verbal processor. I have got to talk and get it out. And I've had so many people say, "Can't you go off and just journal?" And I'm like, "No, because I'm going to take the journal and whack you across the head if you tell me to do that one more damn time. I have got to talk about it. Then I can go off and do what needs to be done, whether it's a walk, a hike, sit down and journal, or cleaning out the kitchen drawers. I don't want to do it all the time, but it's a very cathartic thing for me when things are going."
Can I just add one thing? I feel that most women, most people need to be able to, and I'm a verbal processor like you are, but they need to go to see a therapist, a counselor. It's for a lot of us now after COVID, insurance has picked it up because we're having a big crisis with mental health. So check your insurance, but let me tell you, that's someone who is not biased. That's someone who has no attachment, and you can just go and talk. And let me tell you, when I go and I talk, I actually figure it out on my as I'm verbalizing, I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's not gonna work, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, "I'm so glad I can sit here so you can figure it out." But it helps me. And then of course she gives me insight when she sees that I need it. But more people should go, and especially if you are high functioning and you're taking care of people and you're on your job and your home, you need to let that off. So I just really recommend seeing a counselor or a therapist once a week, once a month, once a quarter.
Yep. Yep. I
Whatever works.
agree. I agree. So what's up your sleeve? What is next for you? What next bold moves? I mean, I know you've got these book launch. And by the way, with this researching that you do, you are now my researcher because I loathe reach. I
Oh,
can't stand research. I hate researching. It just really drains me of my energy. And she's over here, yeah, I research this and go do it. And I'm like, oh, here, because she's my new beautiful researcher. So I know we've got some book tours coming up and the
mhm.
book launch, and which I'm excited about and cannot wait. But what else is up your sleeves? I mean, you've got more insights of how to take more women to the next level. Bold
Yes.
moves. I want to hear bold moves.
Thank you. I'm super excited that you asked me that because we are starting chapters for more women all across the United States. I'm like, hey, if people love it here, I would love to branch this out. And so we're in the process of doing that. So I'm super excited. So if you hear this and if you're in another area, we would love to get you started with a more women chapter. Outside of that, we're starting back up our new podcast. It was Finding Your Superpowers, but now it's High Earn Her, which we're excited about, and that's going to be coming up soon. And then we have a couple of collaborations that is going to be happening soon. And so as soon as I'm able to say some stuff, I will definitely let you know. But we're always working on, and let me tell you, I work on bettering myself every day. Like I'm always working on getting better and doing things. And so as that happens, God reveals something new to me that He wants me to do. So just keep on watching.
I love it. I love it so much. And again, everybody, head on over to Kanitha's website. Even if you're listening to the replay, make sure you're connected with her on LinkedIn, since we are here on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for yourself.
Yes,
I'm
and
so excited.
I next time I see Erin, which will be on Friday, I need to hug her for this introduction because you're such a treasure in my life.
Thank you. I'm so excited, and God always puts you with the right people at the right time. I'm super excited. Look, you're my new hiking buddy. We like to do bougie brunches together. So I'm so excited to know you, let alone for you to be a part of I'm More Women and all the things that you're going to be doing with us. And then me being able to help other women find their bold voice. So I'm super excited about that as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And next week is the last Her Bold Voice LinkedIn Live show. There will be no more after that. I'm not doing any more of that because I've got other things up my sleeve. And I'm all about simplifying. That's my simplifying and real ease this year. So I'm going to be doing some more simplifying with the business. So join us next Tuesday with my final guest. And again, go track down Kanitha. And if you're sitting here listening going, come on, Kim, you've got this more women in the Detroit area. I don't live here. Well, okay, talk to Kanitha about launching something like that in your area, because I know there are plenty of women, not just here in the Detroit area, that need things like that. So get out there, make it a bold day. Please do it on your terms by all means. Just because Kanitha is like this, or Kim is like this, or Susie down the street is like this. Find those terms of success and boldness for you. So make it a great week. See you.
Have a good one. Bye.